What's up? We're back for week 2 of the 2022 CrossFit Open. It is 22.2. It's burpees and deadlifts. Maybe some of you think this workout is boring, but there's a couple tips in this video that I assure you will help you get a better score if you just stick around and watch. I promise you, by the end of this video, I'm gonna help you get better at those deadlifts, hopefully prevent your lower back from blowing up. I'm gonna help make those burpees smooth and efficient, including a new rule that should actually make these burpees a little bit easier. It's all coming in this video, but before we dig into helping you get your best score possible, no matter whether you're in the RX scaled or foundations division, you need to go to WODprep.com/open. I'll have a link or something displaying on the screen. It'll be in the top comment below and the description. If you go there and sign up for our free strategy guides for the Open, I'm gonna send you more bonus content that's gonna help you maximize your score in this workout and in the next workout in 22.3. Because I can tell you right now, there's some crazy movements coming in 22.3. The reason you need to go get that is because we have mental prep videos. I make a bunch of bonus content that is only for people who are on the email list. So if you go sign up for that, you're gonna get a lot of free goodies. I promise you won't regret it. And without further ado, it is time to talk about the overall strategy for 22.2. When it comes to the overall strategy for 22.2, no matter which division you're in, there are about 4 main strategy tips that I want you to think about as you're entering this workout. Number 1 is that you can't come out hot. This workout is, and any workout that's a ladder like this, is really good at trapping you into going really, really fast from the get-go. You're gonna do a deadlift and a burpee and then 2 deadlifts and 2 burpees and you're gonna be flying. You're gonna get to that round of 5 or 6 and be like, I am so fast, I should be a games athlete. And then you will run into a brick wall, especially if you're someone that's coming out at 100%. I say this for a lot of open videos, for a lot of open strategies, but I would highly suggest coming out slower than you want to so that at the end you can finish faster than you started. It's gonna be tough, but I think it's doable. If you start off with a little bit of gas in the tank or leaving a little bit in the tank, and then with about 2 minutes, 90 seconds or so left in the workout, that's when it's time to ramp it up and truly reach that red line. You will need to red line to maximize this workout, but where we're gonna see a lot of people have their scores suffer tremendously is people who come out really fast and then they run into a brick wall, their back blows up, their burpees blow up because they jack their heart rate up too much, and then they just can't ever recover. 10 minutes is a pretty short window, and that brings me to point number 2. For almost every single person watching this, we're not going to get through all of this workout. One of the fittest humans on earth still didn't finish the workout. So I want you to go into this realizing that this is just a 10-minute AMRAP for you. 10 minutes, you're gonna try to climb as high on that ladder as you can, and if you get to the top, you're gonna go back down as far as you can. But the bottom line is normal humans aren't gonna finish this. In fact, I don't even know if I could finish the scaled version of this workout. I don't care how light the deadlifts are, still doing 100 bar-facing burpees in a workout is a lot of reps. So let's remember that and just approach this like a 10-minute AMRAP. What's the most important thing about AMRAPs? Stay moving. It's so important that you don't take any rest in this workout. I don't want to see you dilly-dallying. In fact, I want you to imagine any time that you're taking a rest or taking an unnecessary break in this workout, I am coming into the gym with sirens blaring and beating you with a PVC pipe in the nicest, friendliest way possible. What is she doing?
Absolutely no dilly-dallying! WODprep! WODprep! What the? WODprep! Get back on that bar!
Because dilly-dally alert, you should not be wasting time. I don't want you hunched over grabbing your knees. I don't want you going for a lap around your barbell in between sets on the deadlift. When you're done your burpees, you should just get back on the bar and start pulling. There's really no reason to rest here. If you're strategizing your speed properly, you should have a continuous pace the entire time, and then at the end, it's time to push it pedal to the metal. What you don't want to do is meet your red line too early in the workout, because then you will crash and burn. What we don't want to do is start to fall in love with taking time in these transitions, because there's so many of them. And that comes to the final point, which is all of this goes to say we need to avoid the blow up. This is a workout, especially if you're someone like me who struggles with a little bit of low back tension and pain in lots of hinging patterns like this workout. In fact, my low back is still sore from the previous workout, from those dumbbell snatches. I'm smoked still. So if that's someone like you, you need to avoid hitting that blow up in the middle of the workout at all costs. At the end, sure, maybe. But if you hit that blow up point where your low back starts to lock up and get really tight too early in the workout, it means you either didn't warm up properly or you just came out of the gate way too hot and you hit that brick wall way too early. Let's talk about the deadlifts. For a large majority of listeners, especially if we're approaching the RX division, singles are a very viable option. In fact, despite being able to deadlift over 450 pounds, I think, maybe, despite that, I still am leaving the idea of doing singles at some point during this workout. That's still an option for me because it's so efficient. As a general rule, I came up with these requirements or these kind of standards. If this deadlift, regardless of which division you're in, if this deadlift is approaching 70% roughly of your 1 rep max deadlift, then you should almost for sure do singles from the very beginning. Don't get trapped into trying to do these big unbroken sets, because that's going to cause you to move way too slow as you get deeper into the workout. Also, if you don't know what your 1 rep max deadlift is, I want you to look at the bar and honestly say, can I pick that up 15 times unbroken? Don't try it. Please, for the love of all things good, do not try that before this workout. But ask yourself, could I do 15 plus unbroken reps? For me, at the weight of 225 for the RX division males, yes, I could. So that means I'm giving myself free rein to do touch and go deadlifts. However, if you look at that barbell and say, I could do like maybe 5 at 225 if you're in my division, or regardless of the division you're in, I can do like 5 or 6. Should I try unbroken? The answer is absolutely not. No way, no shape, no form. Please do singles. When we're doing singles, it's super efficient as long as you get back on that bar quickly. In fact, I think it's pretty darn near, like there's going to be people who post really great scores and they throw in some singles into this workout to save their back. All we do is we stand up all the way and then we drop. That is one way we can prevent completely blowing up our lower back. Another reason why you might consider going singles beyond just the strength component is, does your lower back blow up during deadlift workouts? For me, it does. And for that reason, there's a really good chance that at some point in this workout, I will switch to quick singles. Not having to be responsible for lowering the bar back to the ground is a great way to save your lower back. So if you're someone whose lower back tends to blow up during deadlifts, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe your low back is still kind of tight and sore and blown up from those dumbbell snatches. Then here are a couple things you can do. Number one, obviously singles. Singles is a great way to save that lower back. Number two, and this one's kind of, it's something that flies under the radar, is don't peacock your deadlifts. A lot of people, they want to meet the standard, which is great, but they overdo it by leaning way back at the top of every rep of their deadlift. That leaning way back and kind of pumping up the chest, peacocking, as we're going to call it, if you peacock, it's going to blow up that low back. Those low back muscles are going to get really, really tight and potentially get so tight they're going to lock up in the middle of this workout. I know, I've been there and done that. So try to flirt that line. I don't want you to cheat the standards at all. I want you to meet the standards, but not exceed them to the point of you leaning back every single rep. Because if you do that, again, that lower back is doing way more work than it needs to. And then the last thing that you can do to save your lower back is add a belt. Yes, I am promoting the wearing of a belt in this workout, as long as you don't dilly-dally.
Dispatch. Looks like we got a stage 5 dilly-dally at WODprep headquarters. That's a stage 5. Roger that, I'm on it.
No dilly-dallying!
What was that?
No dilly-dallying! Get on the bar!
Who are you?
No dilly-dallying!
No dilly-dallying in this workout. So what I don't want you to do is every single time you get back to the bar, you have to fiddle around with your belt and you're like, oh no, this isn't good. Okay, oh, yep, perfect, just right. Don't do that. Spend very little time messing with the belt. I would actually only wear the belt barely on your body, like very loose, so that it's not affecting the burpees, it's not even helping with the deadlifts until you get into some of those bigger rounds. And then and only then is it time to tighten up the belt when you're spending lots of time on each set of the deadlift. So for me, when I get to like the round of maybe 7 or 8, I might just, boom, strap that belt in a little bit quicker, knock out that set unbroken potentially, and then just a quick loosen of the belt and I'm back on the burpees. And honestly, I hate even suggesting that adjustment because it could waste a lot of time. You just can't dilly-dally. If you're going to use a belt, don't let it slow you down. The caveat here is like, hey, if you're someone hitting the workout and this deadlift is like really close to your 1 rep max and it's like way above 70% for you, obviously it might be smart for you to strap that belt really tight because each rep of the deadlift is a success, okay? So that's where you would want to make sure that your belt's tight every single time. So we've talked about where singles can be good. Singles can be bad if you, again, dilly-dally, in between each rep. If you let that bar bounce and roll excessively, if you drop it and you're walking around, then singles might not be a good idea for you. But if you can have the discipline, and maybe if you can get some bumper plates that aren't super, super bouncy, that's going to be a great way to just drop from the top, the bar splats and settles without bouncing around excessively. If your gym has like super crazy bouncy plates, that's where doing unbroken sets could be much better. I'm not telling you to bounce the barbell off the ground, but there's just inherently a difference between competition style zero bounce plates and like those high temp rubber super bouncy plates that can make cycling deadlifts a lot easier. So just know what you're using, and if you drop your barbell for singles and it has to bounce 7 times before it settles down, then you might want to try to change the plate so you have something that bounces less. And then the last thing with the deadlift is, how do we grip it, Ben? I don't care, however you want. For me, I use a staggered grip, but there are some people who have gotten injured doing that. So you could do an overhand hook grip. You can do a staggered grip hook grip. For me, I just do a staggered grip, no hook grip, and I kind of alternate in between rounds. It doesn't matter, whatever you choose to use, just do it the way that makes you feel comfortable. And again, do it in a way that allows you to stay consistent. And what I don't want you to do is before every rep, you have to like sit there and size up the barbell and move your hands around. Like, you should just be able to reach down, grab it, and pick it up. If it's a little bit off-centered, whatever. What I don't want you to do is to try to get your hands perfectly placed within 1 millimeter of tolerance, because then you're just wasting time. Now let's talk about making those burpees smooth and buttery and efficient. And we're going to talk about a new-ish movement standard that is going to help my burpees a lot, and I think it'll help you. The first thing that I want to mention for burpees specifically is to make sure you mark your hands as a target. So whether that's taking tape and putting an X marks the spot, or me, since I own the studio and the gym that I go to doesn't get too upset if I chalk my hands, I'm going to chalk my hands and I'm going to put where my target is for my hands for the burpees on the ground. You want to make sure that it's not so close to the bar that you're going to whack the top of your head on the barbell every time you go to do a burpee, but you want to make sure it's not too far away, because what happens when we get really tired is if we don't have a target for our hands, we tend to do burpees that are way far away from the bar, or we'll smack our head on the bar. So placing where your hands are going to go and having that target on the ground really helps you aim for each burpee. So all I have to do is think about looking down, putting my hands where they need to go, and then I just splat to the ground. That is going to be the quickest and most efficient way to set up perfectly on that bar with the right distance between your head and the bar for every single rep, no matter how tired you are. So after knowing where to place your hands, the next thing is, what kind of burpee do you recommend? And that's the glide step burpee. So you saw Laura Harveth do that in the very beginning of the workout. Now, she was going at warp speed, and I'm not suggesting going that fast. But a glide step burpee looks like this. Basically, to start, I splat my way down to the ground just because it's easy and it's quick. If you need to step down, whatever, but you're wasting time and energy. So I splat down to the ground. And then from there, I step up. And with the foot that I step up, I start turning towards that. And then I jump over the bar. The new rule for this year, or at least it's new to me, is that the athlete does not need to jump and land with 2 feet. That means we can prance over the bar every single year for the Open. I say, no prancing, you prancers. This year we can prance. Prance the night away. Am I right? So you can prance. You can look like a dainty fairy. You can Tinkerbell your way over that bar. I don't care. As long as both feet leave the ground, it's a good rep. And what that means is you have way less to focus on. It's easier to judge. All you have to do is jump over the bar. You can't step over it if you're in the RX division. From what I understand, the scale division, that's good to go. But you don't have to worry about a 2-foot jump or a 2-foot land, which means just get over the bar. It makes it a lot easier. I like to, with that glide step, I kind of am turning to the side, I prance over the bar, and then I'm already in a position where I can just jump back down into my next splat, putting my hands on my targets and then dropping down on the bar. As long as your bar isn't moving around too much, which will help if you have less bouncy plates, then you're going to be good to go, and it should be a nice, smooth, and efficient burpee. If you do this glide step, I want you to try to keep a pace that you think you can maintain for 20 minutes. So if I said, I want you to do burpees for 20 minutes, what pace could you use? That's around the pace I want you to think about for these burpees, because in the heat of battle, a lot of people come out way too fast, and then you can see, like we saw with some of the people on the announcement, they wind up totally gassed and needing to rest on their burpees, which we don't want. We want to always keep those reps accumulating, because remember, for 99.99999% of us, this is a 10-minute AMRAP. I think the main thing that is going to trip up a lot of people on these burpees is trying to be super explosive and bouncing over the bar. A lot of times people start out the first maybe 15 or 20 burpees, they're going to feel fantastic. But what happens when you go that fast on the burpees and you're at warp speed is just like those box jump overs from last week. It ramps up your heart rate a little bit too much, and then you can't recover on the deadlift, and you keep coming back to the burpees and you keep getting punched in the mouth. We don't want that. So throttle the burpee speed a little bit so that you can keep the same pace the whole time. And then as soon as you're done that last burpee, I want you to do what? Get back on the bar, no dilly-dallying, or I'll smack you with a PVC pipe in a very nice and loving, caring way. So I hope that you liked that video. This is the tips and strategy to help you get better at 22.2. If you want the complete strategy guide with bonus tips, a mental prep video about how I'm going to mentally prepare my athletes to attack this workout and get the best score possible. And if you want access to all the other bonus material that we have for 22.2 and beyond, then go to this link displaying on the screen or click the link in the description or the top comment. Please, if you haven't, give me a thumbs up for working hard. And the team, we got Travis on the camera thing, and we got other people we have a whole team working to try to get this content out for you. So thumbs up and smash that subscribe button, please, for WODprep and the rest of the team. It's not for me, it's for the team people. And with that being said, I will see you in next week's video.
Oh, shit. Where are my keys?
Smells like a dilly-dally.
No dilly-dallying!
I'm not even in the gym!
Ah!
Oh no, I got my shoes dirty.